What's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Realignment Dynasty here on NCAA 14, featuring that college football revamp. We are out here, man. We are at the Armed Forces Bowl as we are down here in Texas as we come in as the number 20 team in all of college football. We go up against a team from the Great Midwestern Conference, Western Michigan. Now, Western Michigan, you know, it might be a little bit interesting for them because I don't know what happened with their helmets or anything like that, but looks like they got mixed up with the Eastern Michigan Classic helmets. So, Western Michigan, they got to wear their rivals' helmets, which is actually kind of funny now that you think about it. But got a great episode on tap. We got the bowl game, obviously. We also are going to have some highlights from the college football playoff at halftime, so you want to stick around for that. So it should be a fun one. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and what are we doing? What are we actually doing to start this game, man? Andrew Gray, what was that pass supposed to go to? I was trying to throw it over the middle there and just completely missed him. Thankfully, we did end up getting them to a free and out to start this game, but man, not how I wanted to start this one by any means. So we are certainly off to a slow start for sure, as not only do we end up throwing an interception on our very first possession, but we do also go ahead and go free and out on our next possession as well. So definitely not the start that I was looking for, but the start that I am going to have to accept. Hopefully our guys can go ahead and play just a little bit better here in this first quarter, as right now we are certainly not getting that, as Richard Brown's able to stiff arm one of our defenders into the ground, and that will go ahead and give the Eagles a lead here, as now we'll go ahead and see Andre Barrett, this quarterback, go ahead and take off real fast. He's going to pick up a few yards. As now 2nd and 4 coming up. Barrett dropping back, looking over the middle, gets it out to William Hayes, and William Hayes will go ahead and pick up that first down as well. A 1st and 10 for the Broncos, and they are steadily moving down this field early. They are looking like a team that frankly just wants to be here in this bowl game a little bit more than we do. You know, a little bit bigger of a football program than Western Michigan. So, you know, for these Broncos, it's more of an accomplishment for them, whereas for us, you know, like it's another Tuesday. So hopefully our guys can wake up here and it will be a gut check for us for sure, as we will go ahead and we will make sure that we get them off the field. So a methodical drive for the Broncos, but with that being said, we're down 6-0 early here. We'll see if our offense can go to work as we go ahead and get our first down of the game. Mike Anderson is going to make the catch for us. And now that'll give a little bit more breathing room for the A-Train to go to work. Now, Anthony Williams, he's playing in his final collegiate game, and I don't know if he's going to go to the NFL or not. So if this is going to be his last ever football game, we are going to try to make sure that we send him out on top. That's the least that we can do for the A-Train, as well as all of these other seniors that are on the roster. As we'll hand it off up the middle again for the A-Train, and he is finding some holes in the defense. He'll pick up a gain of 10. Sets us up for 3rd and inches, so I'm feeling pretty good about it, but they're starting to key in on that run a little bit more, so gotta keep them off balance, get a pass play in there when you least expect it. And Ronnie Harvey's gonna pick up the first down there. 2nd catch of the game is now 1st and 10. We got our first red zone opportunity as the A-Train continues to find space right in the middle of that defense. We're attacking that gut, and they don't really have an answer right now as we continue to run with our star tailback, and he is doing some star stuff, able to get 6.5 yards a carry to start this game. That is really good. But let's see if we can finish this first quarter strong, as we got a 3rd and goal, gonna try to punch it in, and sure enough, we got a massive hole to run through. And the A train is going to go ahead and put us ahead. Touchdown, Spartans. And that will give us a 1 single point lead. Things are still certainly tight here in this Armed Forces Bowl. But that being said, our team is still looking pretty solid, as that does go ahead and wrap up the first quarter of action in the battle between Michigan squads. We do have a slight advantage, up by 1 point. So we go ahead and jump into the second quarter of action now, as Andre Barrett's going to try to scramble, and he's going to go ahead and pick up that first down on the ground. Andre Barrett just had enough space to work with. We're creating too many holes in our defensive line, so we definitely got to go ahead and tighten that up just a little bit moving forward. Is now second and short coming up here, as Barrett's going to make an adjustment at the line, but sets up the screen, and we cover it extremely well, as Andre Barrett is going to be forced to take the sack there. That's going to make it 3rd and 14. So we go with 6 DBs on the field to make sure that we can hold it down. Barrett looking over the middle, and we are just able to round that football very easily. So that will force Western Michigan to punt this football away, and our offense is going to come back onto the field, as we'll start this drive with a read option. And look who it is, that A-Train Williams. He's going to get a gain of 18 on the ground. If it's not broke, why fix it? We let him run with the football again, as A-Train gets lit up like a Christmas tree there. But he will... Actually, no, they don't give him that first down. But he's a tough kid. He will remain in the game, and he responds in kind. He may take a beating, but he can definitely pull some punches himself if he wants to. Is now 1st and 10 coming up. A-Train with yet another carry. He's getting a heavy dose here in his final collegiate game with the Michigan State Spartans, and he is responding extremely well. 11 for 75 as it opens up our bubble screen game. Mike Anderson out in open space and picks up a gain of 14 there. A first down for Michigan State. But we are facing 3rd and long, and this is what our offensive coordinator is going to want to pull up on screen. Not the most ideal play inside the 10-yard line. We didn't at least turn the ball over, so at least we got that going, but we did have to settle for a field goal. A little bit annoyed by that, but it is what it is. We just got to continue to work with it and hope our defense can continue to... Yes, they're going to bend some to a degree, but, this defense has always had a bend, don't break mentality, and it's worked really well throughout the season. We'll see if we can keep that going, as Barrett going to throw it over the left-hand side, get it out to his tailback, Richard Brown, and his first catch of the game is going to bring them closer to the sticks, as now they try to set up yet another screen, but Cedric Presley... He was all over it except his hands. He's got them Butterfingers hands because it slipped right through his fingers. And now, instead of an interception, it's 3rd and short. We'll see if we can go ahead and get him off the field still, as Barrett gets it out to Richard Brown in the check down, and he picks up the first down. Nothing too crazy, but he does what needs to happen in order to move the sticks. We'll see if he can do that again this time. Facing a little bit longer of a 3rd down. 3rd and 13. Getting it out to the left-hand side is Larry Jones. He actually steps out of bounds there. So it brings up 4th down, but Western Michigan, they actually have nothing to lose. So they are actually going to go for it here on 4th down. Barrett dropping back, and it's going to be incomplete. Randy Bell had phenomenal coverage right there. And now we will take over after the turnover on downs, and with momentum swinging our way, it's time for a big play action pass. Looking over the middle, but we threw late. We threw the football late. That route was open, we just did not see it soon enough, to be honest with you guys, as that was a second option. And Brandon Kent, he made us pay for it. He's going to get this interception. So we didn't have the football too terribly long. And once again, our defense is going to be on the field here, as we do get to this quarterback, but he finds Jabari Morales over the middle of the field. His first catch of the day puts them in Eastern Michigan. No, not Eastern Michigan. Michigan State. I was thinking about Eastern Michigan, because I've been seeing them doing some work in the FCS Dynasty, so that's probably where that came from. Which, by the way, if you're watching like the Realignment Dynasty and haven't seen the FCS Dynasty, definitely highly recommend checking that out. That's gonna be probably like linked as a card or something. Like it's a dope little series for sure. If you're into customization and all that good stuff, those Dynasty universe such as this one in a post-COVID world. But got 1st and 10 in the red zone as we try to keep him out and maintain our lead, as Barrett, he throws it off his back foot, and Jabari Morales just makes an incredible effort. He picks that ball off the ground, and it's going to be counted as a completion, man. That's a great play, and it sets up a goal line opportunity to maybe see these Broncos take the lead here in the final moments of this first half. 3rd and goal. The fullback going to get some love here, but our defense is actually going to go ahead and stand up here. So that will force Western Michigan to settle for a field goal. As, no, wait a minute, it's a fake pass, and we get bamboozled. We have been fooled. It's Bobby Coleman, the true sophomore, that's going to throw it in the back of the end zone. And we were thoroughly faked out there. So after all, Western Michigan is going to go ahead and take the lead there. And so we find ourselves down by a field goal, but we do have 30 seconds left here in this first half. I'm going to try to see if we can drive downfield, trying to get over to the right-hand side, but it's going to be intercepted again. I thought I broke the controller here because I was really upset that I threw this ball, because I literally did not see that guy. So, don't mind me pausing the game or all of that. But, oh boy, we are having a difficult game here, especially with our passing game. That is Andrew Gray's 3rd interception that he is going to throw this season. So that's a big yikes on that one. As now Western Michigan, they get a chance to go ahead and possibly go about adding some points on the board before we go into the halftime locker room, as Barrett probably will be the last play before any field goal attempts or anything like that. And it's not a touchdown, but a 20-yard reception right before the half is definitely disappointing. Western Michigan's going to get the field goal before halftime. But before I jump into that second half, as I promised, let's go and check out these college football playoff highlights. So we cut on over to the college football playoff, and specifically this semifinal matchup between number 2 Kentucky and number 6 Texas A&M, because a couple of your guys' custom prospects, Seth Randolph and Zeke Lightning, are both playing in the semifinals. And Seth Randolph, he almost had a big time interception. He could have very well took that to the crib against Josh Heath if he was able to catch that football, but just was not meant to be right there. As Seth Randolph early on, man, he has absolutely been flying all over this football field so far, and it has been an impressive performance for Randolph in the college football playoff. As Zeke Lightning, I'm surprised Lightning did not get that interception. He was in a position to make a play, but the pass, it still ends up getting completed anyways. But he does make up for it though with a tackle for a loss. So here we go. We jump in later in the second half as Zeke Lightning just lit this man up. Chance Clark, he just did not have a singular chance there, as both of these DBs making some good plays for this football team. As Seth Randolph, he is going to go ahead and make yet another tackle And yet, in spite that, his team is still down by a field goal as Heath is trying to go ahead and throw it over the middle of the field. Seth Randolph, he does get beat in coverage there, but he will help in making the tackle. As it's another 1st and 10 for the Kentucky Wildcats. Heath gonna drop back the pass, look over the right-hand side as Zeke Lightning comes through and makes the tackle in order to prevent that 1st down. Zeke Lightning, man, looking good here as he now has 5 tackles and 2 TFLs so far in the game. Seth Randolph not looking to be outdone, as that is his 7th tackle of the football game here in this semifinals of the college football playoff. As Williams, he's going to try to get a carry, but Seth Randolph is there again. Talk about a guy that's just absolutely been flying all over this football field. Now 8 tackles. Is this going to be number 9? No, it's not, but Zeke Lightning able to come up from behind there and make a play on the football, as Kentucky continues to try to drive down the field in an attempt to go ahead and at least time this football game up. That's the thing. It is still a very close football game right now, as we got a 1st and 10. Heath gets it over the right-hand side to battle. He's going to battle his way through Seth Randolph in order to pick up that 1st down. And now we're just talking about a few yards away from potentially going ahead and taking the lead, as we were not prepared for that cutback cheese there. We still prevent the 1st down despite that. And Kentucky is only able to tie this game. They will not be able to take the lead. However, a few minutes left in this ball game. Kentucky, they could very well punch their ticket to the national championship game if depending on how this drive goes, but this defense still showing some serious determination. Is now 1st and 10. Heath dropping back. He's going to try to scramble out of the pocket, and Seth Randolph is there to be able to go ahead and meet him. So that makes it 11 tackles for Seth Randolph. That is all the highlights from your guys' custom prospects. This was a extremely close football game, but at the end, Texas A&M, they were able to go ahead and pull it out. So we will have to wait and see a little bit later in terms of who they would play in the national championship game. But with that being said, it was a big time performance from both Seth Randolph and Zeke Lightning. Both guys combining for 20 tackles, all of which were solo. Seth Randolph had 1 TFL, whereas Zeke Lightning, he was able to get a couple of tackles for loss in this ball game. Now, as for who Zeke Lightning, Seth Randolph, and Texas A&M is going to face in the national championship game, it is going to be no other than the #1 seed, the UCF Golden Knights, who are now 15-0 after a 33-14 victory over the Auburn Tigers. So that means we'll have UCF versus Texas A&M go at each other in the national championship game, which I will show as part of the off-season recap, show a few highlights from there. But enough talk about that for right now. We got to go ahead and get back to our bowl game, because we got some great second half action on tap. Hope you guys are loving it, by the way. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button as well if you're brand new. But yeah, man, let's get back on the field and try to win our first bowl game as the head coach of an FBS football program. Let's get it. So we jump back into second half action here as we go ahead and see Western Michigan start the football. I get them confused because they have the Eastern Michigan helmets. I know. Next time that there's an update to college football revamp, I'll try to fix this. We're just gonna go with the equipment manager messed up, you know. Purely for the memes, you know. It's easier to blame someone else than to take blame on yourself, right? But with that being said, Western Michigan is out there. You know, they got this football first, and they're gonna try to get points on the board first as Barrett tries to go ahead and escape the pocket, but we collapse it in a little bit too much. There was no escape for that man, and we forced him into a 3rd and 17 as Barrett will drop back to pass, looking for someone to get open, and it's dropped. That actually would have been a first down. It's a great throw by Andre Barrett, except it ends up getting dropped there. So that does end up meaning that our guys come back onto the field for our first possession of the second half, and not how I wanted to start it necessarily. Gray airmailing that big time. As now 2nd and 10, you know, passing really hasn't worked for us, so we're going to go ahead and run the football instead. You know, get our quarterback out of the pocket, use some of his mobility. I think that will help us out quite a bit there. As we got 1st and 10 again, Gray getting to the right-hand side, gets it out to Ben Young, who has really started to emerge as a potential NFL product. If there is anybody on this team, besides A-Train Williams, who I don't know if he'll get a shot, but he should at least, if he doesn't get drafted in the NFL, I do hope that he gets some kind of undrafted free agent opportunity, because A-Train Williams can play. He can definitely ball out for you. But Ben Young, he can certainly get drafted into the NFL, that's for sure. As the A-Train picks up a gain of 9, his very first catch of the day, speaking of the devil, is now 1st and 10. Gray gets hit as we threw the football. We try to run those slants, but Western Michigan, they actually do a pretty good job there of covering that slant pattern. And now we face 3rd and long. Gray dropping back, looking over the middle, and it's a big-time throw for Aaron Ford. There was not a lot of space to work with, and we found a way to get it through there as well. Is now another goal line situation, but 3rd and goal. Gray setting up the screen, cutting it inside, and it's Nelson Sisk. The backup tailback is going to get this thing into the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. And once we go ahead and make the extra point, we will be back ahead here. We will go ahead and take a 1-point lead. And now 1st and 10 for Western Michigan. They come back out on the field as Barrett, he's going to try downfield, and Jabari Morales sells. He drops the pass. I don't know why that DB is celebrating. He just got mossed. He just couldn't make a play. That's the problem with that receiver. And instead, it's 3rd and 6 where Barrett's going to dump it off to his tight end, O.J. Bolden. And a bold move for the tight end, as that will pick up the sticks temporarily. But facing another 3rd and long, though, Barrett under shotgun. He's got time to throw this thing, but A.J. Bolden is going to be nowhere near the sticks. And once again, we will go ahead and force yet another punt. We are starting to go ahead and take control of this game, as now the A-Train going to start our next drive, and he's getting a healthy dose for sure. He is approaching 100 yards rushing here in this Armed Forces Bowl. As we got 3rd and short coming up here, A-Train going to go ahead, running up the field here, and it's an easy first down to pick up. Just kept those feet moving. And now just one more carry probably will go ahead and get him over 100 yards, and that will do just that. Even gets a first down for us too. Nice little bonus there as he continues to maintain a 6.5 yards per carry average. As now the A-Train, he's going to get a well-deserved break here, as Nelson Sisk picks up a few yards there. Only his 2nd carry of this ball game. And it'll set us up for a 3rd and short. We're going to go to the outside. Western Michigan, they send the blitz, but Ben Young is wide but naked open. And the screen actually works. Usually that wide receiver screen, it's usually hit or miss. It just really depends on the day, to be honest. As now, another 3rd down that we're facing. We're doing really well on 3rd downs, and that will go ahead and continue there as well. As that sets up 1st and 10. Gray dropping back, but no one's open. Waiting for someone to get open downfield, and it's the A train that's able to cut upfield. And we're able to get something out of nothing there. A decent reception that takes us through the end of the third quarter, and it is a tight battle. So for those of you that are watching in the YouTube premiere right now, get those fours up. We got a game. So let's go ahead and jump into the fourth quarter of action here, as Gray is going to drop back. He's going to throw over the middle, and the A train is going to hold on and make the catch there. First and goal, as we are trying to extend this lead. Probably will not be 1-2 possession, but we can no longer lose on a field goal, though, as it's the A train that plows his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. And that will go ahead and make it 24-16. So the offense does the job in terms of going ahead and extending this lead. But that being said, though, we got a gain. We got our defense out on the field now. We'll see if they can also handle that business. As now, third and short. We can see if we can get him off the field again. A run for Brown. He stiffs arms one defender. And not only is it a first down, but it's a significant gain for Richard Brown. And it moves the sticks for the Broncos. Following that huge run, they go right back to him. And he is abusing our defense right now. Just a really mean stiff arm as well, in order to create some additional yards. So thankfully Richard Brown goes back to the sideline to get a little bit of a break, because he was definitely killing us. But I would expect him to be right back out on the field for this third and short. A very critical play, and turns out no, Barrett's gonna keep it. We had the play and we missed him. Plus there's a flag on the play, and they're gonna call face mask against us. Greg Harvey is going to be called, so that's actually half the distance to the goal. And now a red zone opportunity for the Western Michigan Broncos. Barrett looks over the middle, gets it out to O.J. Bolden. It was a huge hit, but it will not jar the football loose, though. And Western Michigan's got one more shot to possibly tie this game. Barrett looking, fourth down, over the middle, and it's a touchdown. William Haynes, he gets open for his quarterback, and Andre Barrett gets his first passing touchdown of the game and expands on a school record for touchdown passes set by Tim Hiller back in the mid-2000s. So a record that has stand for close to 20 years, it is finally broken here in the Armed Forces Bowl. And they also do end up getting that 2-point conversion. So now it's all knotted up at 4:38 left to play. Biggest drive of the year for our offense. We look over the middle there to start things off. It's Ronnie Harvey. He comes down and makes the catch. First and 10 once again. Another throwing attempt for Andrew Gray, who looks over the middle of the field, and it's Ronnie Harvey again. Reading through his progressions, he had plenty of time from that offensive line and made a really good read there, and continuing to make amazing reads. It's been a really sharp drive for Andrew Gray, that's for sure. Couple plays later, though, we get into a third and long. We could settle for the field goal here. We don't have to do anything crazy. Gray rolls to his right, gets it out to the A train. And while he does come down and make the catch, it's not a first down. So we did have to go ahead and settle for a field goal. Just a couple of minutes left to play in this game now. This could determine it, as, oh, was that Cedric Presley that got in there? If so, he almost put the game on ice. As now, instead, it's a 2nd and 10. Brown, he's going to get loose once more. And moves the ball forward, a gain of 7. But clock is sort of working on our side as of right now. We just got to keep everything ahead of us, and we can win this game, or we can go ahead and get a sack instead. That's Justin Johnson that gets the sack there. And it gets them back a few yards, gives our defense a little bit of breathing room on this 4th down. This is to potentially win the game for us. And Jabari Morales makes a massive play down the sideline. And now one more 1st down all of a sudden could be enough to get this team in field goal range. They could tie it up as Barrett just has all the time in the world. Even if our defense covers extremely well, eventually somebody was going to get open, and that's what we saw there. Is now 1st and 10. Barrett looking over to the left-hand side. He's looking for a touchdown, and Snyder drops that. That could have given Western Michigan the lead, and we would have had to gone for the touchdown. But instead, 2nd and 10. Barrett throwing the right-hand side, and it's intercepted. It's going to be picked off, as that's the first turnover that Western Michigan has in the entire game. And it was the most important turnover of this game, as we were able to go ahead. We were able to run out the clock. And in our bold debut as the head coach of the Michigan State Spartans, a little bit more drama than I expected, but we come out on top, winning by a final score of 27-24, as our guys are going to be able to celebrate here, as we still, even though it wasn't as good as last year, we still finished with a pretty good season. We finished 9-4. Should have had a double-digit win season, but we do carry some positive momentum for next year. So needless to say, this game that we just had was absolutely insane. But I'm glad that our guys were able to go ahead and find a way to win it for us. Andrew Gray, you know, he had a rough first half. It had 3 interceptions in those first halves, but he did recover really nicely though. 222 yards, a touchdown, was able to lead us down the field for that game-winning drive. Now, as for our running game, Train Williams was looking fantastic in his final collegiate game as well. Anthony Williams ends up with 23 carries, 131 yards, and 2 touchdowns to his name as well. If this is his final football game, he ends it on a high note. As for the receivers, you know, there wasn't a lot going on, but Ronnie Harvey had a solid game, 5 catches for 62 yards. Train Williams and Mike Anderson each both had 5 catches to their name as well, but the man that ended up finding the end zone through the air was actually our backup tailback, the guy that might be our starting running back next year, Nelson Sisk, the junior out of Ponchatoula, Louisiana. He had 1 single catch today, but it was for Andrew Gray's only touchdown pass. Now, while we didn't win the turnover battle, we did do enough to make sure that we win this game. Lance Muhammad and Jason Wade each led the team in tackles today. They had 8 tackles apiece to their name. Jason Wade notably also having that TFL as well. As for the sacks, we got to this quarterback a lot and often today. Mike Clark and Cedric Presley in particular both had multiple sacks in this one, 2 sacks each to their name. Justin Johnson had a sack as well, and Kenneth Wood was able to go ahead and get a sack. But the most important player was the sophomore DB, Mike Scott from Hamtramck, Michigan. He didn't do anything else throughout the entire game, but that interception that he did have though, that interception helped us make sure that we are champions of the Armed Forces Bowl. So with that bowl victory, we are actually going to go ahead and finish strong, finishing 9-4 overall on the year and capping it off with a bowl victory against Western Michigan. But next episode, we will go ahead and move into the off-season recap. I'm going to go ahead, you know, obviously not always show that off-season stuff as well. That's standard with an off-season recap here on the John J Gaming channel. But we will also go ahead and check out some of the highlights from the College Football Playoff National Championship game, because it does feature a couple of your guys' custom recruits. So you're not going to want to miss a single thing. So if you're excited about that as well as enjoyed today's episode, man, I need you guys to go ahead and do me a favor. Smack that like button for me, and then on top of that, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.